An otherworldly force is taking friends from the same party one by one. Who woke the murderous entity? Can the psychics stop it? Don't miss out. One of the most mysterious investigations. You are watching Psychic Investigations, a project of exclusively true and shocking stories. People who call themselves clairvoyants investigate enigmatic mystical anomalies and high-profile criminal cases. Svetlana Kovtun has lived in a small village all her life. She works at a store in the town nearby and, together with her husband, raises 2 children. She considered herself a fairly happy person until tragedy struck her family. A year ago, her younger brother, Volodya, was found hanged in broad daylight. He was only 33 years old.
Such a huge loss. I couldn't eat or sleep.
Volodya Shevchuk was found hanged in his yard.
After Volodya's death, disturbing visions and dreams began troubling his relatives.
The curtain was drawn back from this side, and I saw his face. He was staring at me.
He appears in my dreams, telling me something, and there's a man standing next to him, but I can't see his face.
After seeing these dreams, strange things happen to the people in reality.
He's been appearing in my dreams a lot lately. He says, "Come on." It got to the point where I came to in my pajamas, standing knee-deep in the river in the valley.
The woman also claims that her thoughts are being controlled by something.
It feels like I have no soul, and my thoughts are like I want to be with him.
The family turns to the psychics to find the answers. They want to know what these dreams mean. Why is their dead relative disturbing them? Is he trying to convey something about his death? And did he really commit suicide? After all, the man had 3 children.
He loved his children a lot.
He loved those kids more than himself. He was ready to do anything for his children.
He was very cheerful. Everything made him happy. He wanted to do everything with his own hands.
Someone who lived and wanted to live just put a noose around his neck. It's hard to believe.
Psychics Olga Kalinova and Yaroslava Fedorova take on the case. As soon as they received Volodya's photo, they immediately get down to work.
In his last seconds, Volodya heard laughter near him. An unknown force was mocking him, saying, "I got what was mine, but what this force is, I don't understand yet. Could it be a spirit or some entity?"
It's strange. 4 people are leaning over a pit. Wait, it's not a pit. It's a grave. I see those 4 laughing over the grave. But someone is watching them. A dark female figure, dressed in a long black robe. She radiates such a chilling cold. She pushes one of them into the pit, then another. And these 2 who are left will be next.
But who are the men the psychic sees in her vision? And what does it have to do with Volodya's death?
It seems Volodya died as a result of a ritual.
This is horrifying. Could someone have forced Volodya to commit suicide? But who?
Hello?
Hello.
Volodya's mother has also come to the meeting with the psychics.
My brother is gone. We think something mystical, something from the other world, pushed him to do it.
You're right. I feel that he was supposed to live, but some kind of awful force interfered in his destiny.
I sense some kind of constant fear and tension around him.
And for good reason. His health started deteriorating. Someone was draining the life out of him.
Yes, that's right. Recently, he began fainting quite often, but doctors couldn't find anything wrong with him.
He was hospitalized many times.
He was always a healthy man, but lately he started fainting all the time.
I don't sense that Volodya wished to die.
He did have plans. He wanted to start earning money in a different way.
Yes.
He spent all his time at work.
He worked in construction. He had his own crew.
Volodya and his crew traveled to almost every town in the area and had plenty of orders. He was the best specialist in his area.
He was a born professional.
But what happened to Volodya? How and why did he end up in the noose?
He was such a cheerful person, always glowing. People were drawn to him.
I need to consult my cards. I see him as a victim. And there's an evil force with horns. It seems he heard its voice. Something called him.
I see 4 doves. They're flying high in the sky, and below is a pit. Suddenly, one of them dives like a stone into the pit and shatters to pieces.
A dove symbolizes a soul.
Yaroslava, look. There's a dead bird here. It's a sign.
Oh, God. It's terrible. At that moment, I understood that Volodya's relatives blamed someone for his death. The woman he loved. You suspect she pushed him into the pit.
We think it was his wife. She'd started going to fortune tellers lately. She didn't hide it, but didn't reveal her purpose either.
I clearly see from the cards that someone performed a ritual, a dark one.
What kind of ritual could it have been? And is Volodya's wife really involved?
There's a secret, and she thinks you know it. But I don't get what it means yet.
We need to talk to that woman.
The psychics visit Oksana, Volodya's wife, at her parents' house, where she has been living since becoming a widow. Victoria and Olena, Volodya's sisters, are waiting for them outside the house.
Oksana, these are the psychics. They need to talk to you.
Please don't film. Just tell them to go away. Why are you acting like I'm a stranger to you?
Don't shout.
Oksana doesn't seem to be inclined to speak to the psychics at all. But why? Could she really have something to hide?
Let's go outside.
If she were genuinely interested in finding out what happened, her reaction would be different.
Get out of the property.
Where's Olga?
When we stepped out of the yard, it turned out that Olga Kalinova was missing. The woman had locked the door from the inside and wasn't letting the psychic out.
I trapped. Volodya's wife was screaming hysterically, telling us to leave and take away the cameras. She eventually agreed to let me go on, but on one condition, that Yaroslava and I would go to the house where she lived with her children and husband before his death. I agreed, and that's how I got released.
The woman silently leads the psychics to the house where she and Volodya used to live, about 200 meters from her parents' home.
Oksana, I understand that you're a mother who stayed alone with her children after your husband's death, but your behavior is alarming. Can I ask you a direct question? Did you engage in magic?
I never did anything like that.
There were some misunderstandings between you. Things got really bad. Between the birth of your second and third children, something went wrong. Why did you start arguing?
We had our own family issues. Go and do whatever you want.
The widow refused to communicate with us outright, and I understood why. Oksana had a male admirer while Volodya was alive. I think that explains her harsh reaction to our arrival. She was afraid her sisters-in-law would turn against her even more, because according to them, Volodya loved his wife very much.
He loved her. He would do anything for her. But Oksana was unfaithful.
He sacrificed everything for his family and kids.
Volodya's sisters are convinced that his wife is to blame for his death, that she went to witches and performed rituals to get rid of her husband.
She's going to get away with it, and I can't live with that.
Volodya's widow decided to avoid conflict, so she simply turned and left without explaining anything to anyone. But why? Could she really be involved in her husband's death?
Look Mom in the eye. Oksana didn't say a word, although our mother, who buried her son, stood there. But may she live as she pleases. God will judge her.
Can we get out of here?
We heard the rumors.
And he said it too.
He said Oksana cheated on him. He came once at 2 a.m. and started telling me, "I'll move in to live with you." I said, "No problem." But I added, "You have 2 children. Who will they be left with?" And he thought about it, got into the car, and drove away.
But could Oksana really have decided to get rid of her husband and send him to an early grave using magic?
Oksana is not involved in her husband's death. Yes, she did go to fortune tellers, but not because she wanted to get rid of her husband. She was simply trying to understand herself and the situation in her life.
Oksana confessed to me in the house that she never wished her husband dead. She only wanted to leave him because she didn't have feelings for him anymore.
But still, Olga, I sense a ritual. However, Oksana didn't perform it.
Yes, I also sense that some kind of ritual was involved in Volodya's death.
And the smell of fresh earth is strong. The smell of a freshly dug grave has been haunting and driving me crazy. I couldn't understand how it related to the case at hand.
I see a spirit. The spirit doesn't approach us. It appears to be afraid of something. Wait, they died similar deaths. He and Volodya were the same age and quite close. And there are numbers, 10, 10, 10.
A month after Volodya's death, his friend hanged himself. Volodya hanged himself on the 10th. And I think Sasha did too.
Why did he hang himself? Nobody knows it.
Sasha lived on the same street as Volodya. He was 33 years old. He was found hanged in his own yard. It's just incomprehensible. But why did the 2 friends die the same way?
The scariest part is that the same force took them to the other world, and it's hunting someone else now. Another man's spirit. He's calling me, trying to show me something. Maybe it's all connected.
Another death, and a young man again.
He crashed into a lamppost, but it happened much earlier.
Serhiy crashed his motorcycle near the garage years ago.
Could you please show me the place?
Incredible speed. He's racing.
It seems he lost control over the bike. The death was instant.
He was hurrying to confess his love or propose to his girlfriend. Something like that. It was in the spring, around the same time your brother hanged himself in the same month.
They were going to get engaged. He was on his way to see the girl, but he never made it. It happened literally 5 meters away from her place.
The spirit of this young man had nothing to do with Volodya's death, but he said that if we didn't sort out the situation, another tragedy might happen. Someone else would die. So, we have Volodya, then Sasha, and there's a third man with them, someone named Ivan. Who is he?
Ivan also tried to hang himself. It happened after Volodya's death.
It's just a nightmare. It turns out that another friend of Volodya's, Ivan, also attempted suicide, but was saved.
What is it? Olga, be careful.
I felt like I fell into a huge pit, like a grave. And again, there were doves flying over the pit. One fell down like a stone and broke into pieces. Then another. The third dove followed them, but something saved it. These are Volodya, Sasha, and Ivan. But there's a fourth one. He's next.
But who are the psychics talking about? Could someone be in mortal danger right now? Another friend of Volodya's? But who?
The cause behind the tragedies lies in some mystical force. And then I saw Volodya's spirit. Behind his back, the terrifying figure appeared, dressed in the long, dark robe, and I saw that chilling, contemptuous look. It was the same figure I'd seen before the investigation. Volodya turned around, saw the look of this figure, and his face turned into stone. There was a look of despair and sadness on his face. I saw tears in his eyes. The earth is pulling. What was the ritual connected to the earth? What did they do with the earth?
They sometimes dug graves when asked. Volodya also took such jobs.
Volodya and Sasha dug graves.
Yes, they did it.
Lots of pits.
He often did it.
I had the feeling that through the shovels with which the men dug the graves, they opened a portal to the afterlife. But how could this possibly have happened?
To find it out, the psychics go to the cemetery.
I understand your grief.
He's asking you to forgive him. He's very sorry he's gone now and can't be with you.
It's so hard. It hurts so much.
He's behind you, Svetlana, and he's embracing you.
Water? Water.
I felt so sick. Like something was choking me. I couldn't breathe.
When it happened, the spirit showed me another vision of Volodya, Sasha, and his another two friends digging a pit in a yard. They're holding shovels. What were they digging in the yard?
The pit for the outhouse. All three of them dug it, Volodya, Sasha, and Ivan. Artur joined them later.
And they used the same shovels as they used for digging graves.
Burial is a ritual. It is performed according to certain rules. Any mistake can have negative consequences and lead to another death. All things used during burial are sacred. They cannot be used in everyday life.
Shovels have a close connection with the afterlife energy.
The men violated all the rules. At that moment, they established a close connection with the afterlife. One wrong move or word, and the program of death starts working.
And he commented on something, and they all laughed.
Yes. He said then that the pit was large enough for all four of them to be buried in it. It was on April 9th, and the next day on Thursday, he did that.
He's weeping all the time.
His tears were running even when he was lying in the coffin.
And he's crying now. He approaches each of you, hugging you and weeping.
I caught the scent of his cologne, and I felt a weight on my hand and shoulder.
Bring water.
Cedar here.
My legs went numb.
I felt his presence, even though I couldn't see him.
The two men who are still alive must atone for it. They should ask death for forgiveness. It's following them. Do you understand it?
Thank you so much.
You explained us a lot.
We are deeply grateful.
It's incredible how a joke about death and burial attributes had fatal consequences for the men. Otherworldly revenge, a ghost with a black cat is trying to kill a young mother and her 2 children. Don't miss out. What shocking truth about the woman will the psychics reveal, and will her prayers guarantee her forgiveness for what she did? Yevheniia Chebotaryova from Ukraine is asking the psychics for help. She has a son, David, who is 6, and a daughter, Kira, who is 2. The girl was supposed to be born in December 2017. However, 2 months before that, on Friday, the 13th, her mother experienced bleeding. Doctors urgently performed a cesarean section, but during the operation, Yevheniia fell into a coma.
The doctors struggled to revive me for 3 days.
The cause was an overdose of anesthesia. Most remarkably, Yevheniia remembers the feeling of leaving her body during the coma.
I was walking around the maternity ward and went up to the 2nd floor. I saw a lot of little babies in the cribs. It felt like my soul was wandering.
When Yevheniia emerged from the coma and was allowed to see her daughter, she realized that she had seen her while she was unconscious.
It was precisely the baby I had seen while I had been in the coma.
The story of the girl born on Friday, the 13th, while her mother was in a coma, stunned all of Yevheniia's relatives and friends. After a while, the happy mother and daughter finally returned home. However, soon enough, the woman began to notice strange signs that came in the form of crosses in their house.
I went outside, turned around, and here, there were 2 large white crosses, like those you find at a cemetery. They were scratched here.
Yevheniia ran into the house to bring her mother, but when both women came out, the mysterious signs on the door were gone.
It looked like someone had wiped them off with a rag. We still can't understand where they came from.
The next week, a mysterious cross appeared on the bathroom ceiling, and before it vanished a few minutes later, Yevheniia took a photo of it. You can see it now on your screen. However, later, the eerie crosses manifested right on Yevheniia's arm.
I was at my friend Olena's place, and suddenly 2 crosses appeared right here on my arm, like old scars.
The marks looked like scars from old wounds, but then they disappeared.
After the incident, almost every night, Yevheniia began to have the same dream in which she buried her children.
I was standing in a cemetery, and there were 2 little coffins for Kira and David. I woke up screaming.
The mother's heart feels it's a sign, and something might happen to her children, especially given that her daughter has recently started seeing a man's ghost in the house.
She stares into the corner and says, "Mom, a man, don't." When she does it, it means don't be mean. She's scared.
Soon, 6-year-old David started to see the mysterious stranger as well.
I looked out of the window, and there was a shadow that looked like a man. And behind him there was a black cat. A scary shadow.
Yevheniia doesn't see any shadows, but recently, strange attacks have started happening to the young mother. Yevheniia falls to the floor and begins to speak in a frantic male voice. However, she remembers nothing afterward.
She was speaking some strange foreign language, and the voice wasn't hers.
Yevheniia first thought it was a result of epilepsy, which she has had since she was a child, but she takes medication, so the attacks occur very rarely, and they're mild, so this is definitely something different.
It wasn't an epilepsy attack. It looked like something possessed her.
Yevheniia believes that the mysterious male ghost that's haunting her house takes possession of her. She's afraid it could eventually end in her death, and her children will be victims after her.
They make me happy. I love them above everything else in the world.
Yevheniia is 26. She works as an accountant. She says she's always considered herself a strong woman, but now she's desperate, especially considering that she is raising her children alone after things didn't work out with her husband. The young mother is really counting on the help of the clairvoyants.
I need them to help me understand what is going on.
Our project's experts, Jana Shulakova and Rubina Tsibulska, agreed to help Yevheniia.
I had a dream last night. I was standing in a cemetery next to a grave. There was a cross on it, and a black cat was walking along its bar. I took a step towards it, and it started hissing at me. Then I heard a male voice say, "This is because of what she did to that girl."
Who? Yevheniia? What did she do, and who did she do it to?
The cards say that a woman paid money to cover up a brutal act.
Hello.
Hello?
I really need you to help us.
The dead man with the cat is bound to you. I heard his voice in my dream. Your children also see this man.
Whose spirit is he?
Wait. Somebody's blood was spilled here.
Was anybody killed here?
No, nobody was ever killed here.
The blood spilled because of revenge.
Something fell there.
Technically, the door couldn't have fallen. There was absolutely no one in the yard, and there are no animals that could be running around here.
The man, the cat. What do you want? He's pointing at you and...
He wants you dead. Let's go away from here. My God.
But why?
The man has been haunting the woman for quite some time, and his energy is very powerful. I don't understand how Yevheniia is still alive at all. Hold on. I see you were also in a coma when you birthed your son.
Yes, I was in a coma for about 2 or 3 days when I birthed my son. And so was I when my daughter was born.
But there were no issues with anesthesia the first time. The doctors still have no idea why Yevheniia suddenly fell into a coma and came out of it just as suddenly.
My mirror showed me the dead man with the cat. He provoked both situations. And then the cards revealed to Jana a horrific, bloody secret that some children had been hiding for many years.
Children, a secret.
I see a boy and a girl in my mirror. The children are in a room filled with smoke, and they are not breathing. It's a vision from the past, but it relates to your family.
Yes. These are my grandmother's first children. The first was Tanya, and the second was Vova. They suffocated. They were supposed to be my uncle and aunt.
The tragedy occurred many years ago, even before Yevheniia's mother was born. Her sister was 3 years old at the time, and her brother was 1.5. The room in which the children were playing had a stove, which became the source of the tragedy.
My mirror is showing me a doll.
They said that they had put a doll on the stove.
And it caught fire and the smoke rose.
Yes, yes.
The children weren't alone in the house. There was an adult, but he was asleep.
Grandpa, their father. Grandma wasn't home at that time.
Yevheniia's grandmother, who was the mother of the boy and girl, had gone to the market, and her father, exhausted after a night shift at work, lay down to rest in the next room and fell asleep. He woke up to the smell of smoke, but it was too late. They couldn't save the children.
I'd like to work at the place where your mother's brother and sister perished.
Yevheniia's grandparents' house was on the shore of the Sea of Azov. Over time, however, the water level rose and the building deteriorated and had to be demolished. Yevheniia's mother, Victoria, joins everyone there.
Hello?
Hello?
My brother and sister suffocated here.
I see the mother approach the house the moment the father was taking the children out of it. The parents tried to revive them, but the boy had died in the house.
My brother died immediately. He had no chance.
The girl is breathing, but she dies soon too.
She took a breath and then died immediately.
And her parents witnessed it.
What a shock it was. The father feels like his heart is being torn out. He felt guilty for the rest of his life.
Yes, he thought he had failed to save his children.
And for your mother, it was such a horrific trauma, such stress, that she couldn't have children for many years until you were born.
Yes, doctors said she couldn't have children after the awful stress she had experienced.
Victoria was born 14 years after her brother and sister died, when her mother was 40 and her father was 42.
I don't sense that the children's deaths were caused by a supernatural force.
It was an accident, and it has no relation to what is happening in Yevheniia's family.
This man who is threatening me and my children, who is he? And where did he come from?
Did you hear that?
Yes.
We heard a cat mewing, but there was no cat anywhere around.
This is the man with the cat. He's standing here watching it.
I feel that the cause of Yevheniia's epilepsy is of a mystical nature, and it's related to the spirit.
The attack started when I was 15 or 16 years old. Doctors can't explain what triggered my condition.
You are still alive only because someone or something seems to be constantly repelling this dead man from you. Of course, Yevheniia should treat her condition with medication, but we needed to find out who this spirit was, so her condition wouldn't worsen.
Give me your hand. I see a large cemetery. You stand by a grave. There is a woman next to you, but you and her are strangers. And she's performing some kind of ritual.
Yes.
What is this?
There was a woman at Mom's work. She said that to get rid of epilepsy, I needed to visit Dad's grave. And so, we went to the cemetery.
Did your father die?
He was hit by a car when Yevheniia was 2.
Did the woman perform the ritual on his grave?
Yes. She practiced magic. I was terribly afraid. I didn't want to do it.
She told me, step away and don't look back, so you don't see it. You don't need to know this. But I still agreed to it because I wanted to help my child.
She took my finger and punctured it, and the blood dripped right onto my father's grave.
The woman wasn't a sorceress at all. I don't feel that any help came from her because the condition remained. And if she carried out some senseless rituals, she could have accidentally bound your father's spirit to you. And in this case, he is the man with the cat. Could it be him who poses a threat to the family?
Why the cat then?
Did your father happen to have a favorite cat?
We never had cats at home.
Then what cat is that?
We need to go to your father's grave.
Suddenly, I saw a spirit in front of me. It's your father, and I can't understand why you feel guilty towards him. He passed away when you were very young.
I don't go to my biological father's grave. I'm afraid of cemeteries.
Yevheniia, you are very lucky that this fake sorceress performed the ritual on your father's grave because your dad loves you very much, and he would never harm his daughter. It's not his spirit that is bound to you. You must speak to him.
I really wish you were here with me, alive. I love you very much.
He's embracing you. Do you feel it?
Yes.
It was your father's spirit that was constantly trying to repel the ghost with the cat from you. He's gone now.
But who is this man with the cat, after all?
My mirror is showing me you with a cat. It was killed as part of a ritual.
Look.
My goodness.
What is it doing here?
A black cat appeared, and it sat right on the grave.
Did you have a black cat that suddenly disappeared?
Yes, Murchik. He disappeared.
I feel him being used in some kind of ritual. And somebody brought his remnants to your house.
According to my feelings, it was done out of revenge.
Have you ever found any remnants?
Bones. On the spot from which you, Rubina, took the earth this morning. The bones were there.
So that's what I felt near your yard this morning. We need to go back there urgently.
We found them over here.
The dead man is somehow connected to the ritual with your cat. Female hands brought the cat's bones.
The woman is young. She bound the spirit to you.
And to make him take your life, she brought your cat to his grave and sacrificed him.
Who is that woman?
You know her.
I see her bloodied. She's being beaten brutally. She's being kicked. By you. Yevheniia, what is that supposed to mean?
At school, I was in a gang that beat and bullied other girls.
How old were you?
13.
Your group was like a dog pack. You attacked and beat innocent girls.
Yes. We beat everybody we didn't like. I still feel ashamed because of it. I know I'm guilty.
I see girls being shoved, pulled by their clothes. You spat on them, tore their clothes, and laughed at them.
Yes, yes, yes. We stood around and laughed at them. And I remember the last case. Her name was Yulia. She was plump. And so we decided to make fun of her. We got together and beat her up. But I don't remember who put her on her knees. There were lots of kids.
And you got away with whatever hideous things you did.
Money solved everything.
Mom went to the police and paid them, so they wouldn't touch me.
A woman paid money to cover up a really brutal act.
I understand these mistakes now, but I didn't back then. It's even possible that I ruined their lives, their whole lives.
And one of the victims went to a knowledgeable woman and ordered a curse from her.
I feel that at first, you didn't want to take part in those terrible attacks, but you had to join the company of the cruel girls to not be another victim.
Yes.
They threatened you.
Yes. Like, if you don't punch her now, we're gonna beat you up and humiliate you.
But I also felt that this old bullying story partially had something to do with Yevheniia's mother, and I asked Yevheniia to bring her. Your daughter systematically participated in cruel bullying of her peers. She was intimidated, and she had no one to ask for protection, as you were never around.
I was too busy at work and simply had no time.
And you realized you were losing your daughter.
Yes.
But it was easier to pay for what your daughter did with money than to try to understand why she behaved like that.
If you'd been next to me and spoken to me at least occasionally, it would have never happened.
It's my fault.
However, Yevheniia was also at fault towards her mother. I felt that over all these years of resentment, she said many terrible things to her mother, but still, she decided to take the first step towards reconciliation.
Please forgive me for everything. for what I told you and what I did. You're my dearest person in the world.
That's the most important thing, ladies.
But the spirit won't stop.
Help us, please.
Yevheniia, you will have to repent sincerely.
I agree to everything.
I need an open space and a water body.
Yulia, Anna, Halina, Natasha, Nastya, Vera, Lisa. Please forgive me for causing you so much pain. Forgive me for everything I did to you.
To ensure everything will be all right with you, I strongly recommend that you personally ask for forgiveness from all of them. We sent the spirit to the other world.
It took me a long time to understand that it all happened because of me. Thank you very much. It's such a relief.
It's not for nothing they say, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. Fortunately, Yevheniia has finally realized this. If you're impressed by the story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more impressive investigations are coming up.